In this lesson, we're going to deal with formatting of numbers in Excel. Now, we've done a few formulas already and put in some simple things, but when you're getting near the end, it can be nice to put some formatting on the number so it's a little bit easier to understand for whoever's looking at your spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and get started here. I should be on my formatting number tab, and I will zoom up a little bit so you guys can see. So again, just to reiterate something I've talked about before, whatever is in the formula bar, that's going to always be the value of the number. And you're going to see when we do our formatting, it doesn't carry back up to that formula bar. So the first thing we're going to do is just add decimals to a number. This just comes out as 5,000. So we're going to be on our home tab, and on the home ribbon about halfway across is the formatting numbers block. Okay, and we'll look at all these controls here. So for starters, just to add decimals, we're going to click on the add decimal tool. Increase decimals, and I can go out as many as I want to force Excel to show those decimals, or I can back it up a little bit. Okay, well, the next format we'll look at is adding commas to a number. So here's a really large number, and we can go up here and hit the comma, and that'll just put commas, and it adds 2 decimal places, because usually Excel is guessing you're dealing with money or something and wants a couple decimal places. But you can increase the decimal places, or you can shrink them off. And then we have some number formats that are negative formats. So here, what we're going to do is go up to this General tab in this drop down, and here's where it'll show you a lot of different formats. And to get some negative formats, we're going to click on More Number Formats, which brings up our Formatting Cells dialog. Now this has the other formatting options, but we're just sticking with numbers now. So let's go down to Custom. And you see how there's these crazy formats. We're not going to learn what all of this is, but try one of these ones that says red after the semicolon. And click OK. So there's some conventions in accounting where negative numbers are in red. So that's a way you can format the number to be red without having to actually go color it with a font tool. Okay, now let's look at this right here. Let's look at this little formula. We've got 2.3 plus 3.4 plus 4.2, and that equals 9.9. Well, what I want to show you guys is something about the way Excel calculates. So this is indeed 9.9, but watch what happens. If I highlight all these numbers and I decrease the decimal places, now I have 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10, but it doesn't equal 10, it equals 9. So this is an important concept to remember. Whenever you're doing calculations, Excel is going to use the actual value of the number regardless of how it's displayed on the screen. And this can give you some kind of funky errors every once in a while. So always check what's showing. And if I click on one of these and look at the formula bar, it still shows I've got 4.2. And then on 10, that's actually 9.9. But again, if you want to just show that again, you can show the decimals and expand them out. Okay, so for the next couple, we're going to do percents and fractions. So percentage is between 0 and 1. 0.75 is actually 75%. And if you want it to display as a percent because it looks nicer, you click the percent there. And you can also do that on this one. We can format this as a percent also. And then when you just type in a number, it'll automatically keep the percent if you already formatted that cell to be percentage based. Now let's try fractions, okay? These we're going to have to go into our numbers dialog box again. So we'll click up here, the drop down, and I've got an option for fraction. Click that. Do it a couple more times. And that's it for fractions. And now let's do some currency formatting. We'll use the little shortcut here with the $sign. If I just want to make this first value 5,000 US dollars, just click that $sign. Automatically makes it there and puts 2 decimal places. I usually like to have no decimal places with numbers. And then here, just because they're right there on this shortcut menu, you can go to convert this to a euro format. You might have to change the exchange rate there. You might have to figure out what 5,000 really is, but you can do that. And then you also have a Chinese, and there's some other formats too, but basically what this does is it puts the value in a format that makes sense for what you're trying to do. Again, if you look back up at the formula bar, we don't have the yen symbol, we don't have the comma or the decimals. It's just in there as 5,000. Okay, now we're going to look at some special and custom formats. Now, the first is the phone number format. And again, we're going to go back up to our dialog box and go to more number formats. And we'll go down to special. And we'll click on phone number. And then it gives you a little preview of what that's going to be. And that looks about right, so I'll click OK. And then I will do this as social security number. Now there's another way to get to all those options, and that's to just click the flyaway. That'll bring up the box too. And then come down to special, social security number. And the last one I'll show you is the custom product number. So if I'm in this drop down and I go to my custom, you can input your own custom formats in here. You can look up what those values are, but typically, if you wanted to hold a place, you type a 0. If you want to have the number adjust based on how big the number is, you put the pound sign in. So I will start with this. Actually, I don't want that. I want just 5 numbers. So let's say our product number is 5 digits long. That will force it to 5 digits. See how it keeps the 2 zeros there? And then maybe I need a state code in front of it and a dash. Oh, it didn't show up, so I have to put quotes around that. And now you see how this number is going to show up as NC00234. Click OK. But if you look at the formula bar, it's still just 234. Okay? So we looked at a lot of the options on the number group, and we looked at the drop down where we can get our number dialog box. If you go in here and want to click on these different tabs, there's just a few more options there that you could choose from that are already set up. And we'll talk about dates separately. But yeah, what is up here on the home ribbon should cover most of what you need. Mostly just commas, increasing and decreasing decimals. All right, let's move on to the next lesson.